All right, all. Welcome in. If it's your first time here, my name is Chase, 5Day Crypto. I've been in crypto for about 7-8 years now. I do this full time, and I am a level 1 CMT. So my goal is to help you avoid all the pitfalls that I did starting out and look at everything from a TA perspective, fundamentals there, and show you what I interpret the charts at, and you can make your own informed decision from there. So we're going to talk all about Bitcoin first, and then we can do requests in the later half of this. So if you're watching at a later date and you don't give two shits about Bitcoin, you can fast forward a little bit and get to your alts. We'll do that in just a moment. We'll wait for at least 1 or 2 more people to get here, and then we can start with Bitcoin. There's some big things happening. I definitely recommend staying on top of Bitcoin because that's the market leader, likely always will be, at least per a financial standpoint. All right, so welcome in. Thanks for joining. Leave your comment in the chat. Leave your request in the chat, and we'll get to it as time progresses. All right, so Bitcoin here. We're on the daily chart, and here's our 3 levels, and we have these out until the end of the year. So 2025 starts right after here, and these will be these levels don't change from now until probably beyond then. But we're bullish right between the yellow and the green. Obviously, ultra bullish if we can somehow break above that. We've only had a few daily candles close outside the top of that green zone ever. Okay, so when that comes again, if and when that comes again, that will be monumental, right? The highest closes ever with just a few right at the end of the March highs. We've had some in this zone, right? Not a whole lot though. So that's going to be a huge pivotal level. That starts around 70K, goes above about 71.5. If we get any candles above 71, I think we're going to see some explosive move. And it could happen in the not so distant future. We could very well oscillate between these zones for the rest of the year. So we don't have to break out here right away. But we are in a definitive uptrend, right? This 8-month downtrend has by definition ended. We put in a higher high here from August, right? Here's a new high. We came down. We held the low at the median Gaussian channel and the 200 EMA. The 200-day EMA is that pink line right there. That was a huge hold, and that's the pivot level. If we go back below 60K, there's some major trouble. Like, we don't want that. At this point, with this structure, this would be the ultimate fake out and not only bear trap, but maybe bear murder. We do not want to go under 60K again. I cannot be more clear about that. If we see prices under 60K, at least for multiple closes, a weekly close under 60K, devastating for the bulls. Okay, so as long as we remain above 64K, we have to be leaning bullish. By definition, there's our range high, a new high. Anywhere in that zone, 64K and higher, is a win for the bulls. Obviously, anything up here is ultra bullish, and I would expect phase 3 to start at that point. If we go out to the weekly, it becomes a little bit more simple to see here. I mean, we can just look at this chart and see how bullish this is. Put it on closing prices on a line chart. You can see there's our high from August, new higher high, higher low from here, and look at where we are, right? This is just got the recipe for breakout written all over it. Doesn't mean it has to happen, in this week or next, right? We could absolutely come to the green zone, 69, 70K, do like a throwback and kind of oscillate in here for the rest of the year for sure. Then maybe break out towards, Q1 2025, right? That's on the cards. That would be bullish, obviously. Or like if we want to get the big bulls here, right? We'd want to see a breakout of all-time highs first. You can see the upper Bollinger Band here at 71K. Maybe we see something like that, we break out to new highs, and then it comes back and like back test 69, 70K. That would be ultra bullish, right? Then we likely see a much bigger trampoline bounce to probably 80K plus. So that's ultra bull, right? I don't know if I see that on the cards just yet, just because it's taken us 8 months to kind of get back up here again, right? But consolidation. But look at the coil of the moving averages, the EMA 8 sharply increasing. That's a great sign. I would say the odds are something along the lines of bullish, but maybe not ultra bullish, like something like this. So that's where the way I'm leaning now. Until we get a close under 64, we might have some trouble, right? Maybe we have to go back and test this lows again, right? We could do that, and that would just delay our highs for another couple of months, right? If we do something like this. But those are kind of the three scenarios. We have regular bullish, ultra bullish, and then bullish but kind of bearish for the short term for the next rest of this year. So one of those three scenarios, I think, are likely, loosely fit along those lines. I think for now, based on what's happening over the past several weeks, I would say we hold around 64K and bounce around between 64 to 70K for the next couple of weeks, if not maybe even a month or two, rest of this year. And then we have our breakout towards the end of this year or early next. But I'd love to be wrong and be the ultra bull, and we're a couple of weeks from now we're talking and we're 80K, right? That would be fantastic. I think we're waiting on Bitcoin dominance to top. So let's go look at Bitcoin dominance here. We need to see a high put in like permanently, and 60% to 61% is likely the area that we get that to happen. I just look how bullish this is. If you want alt season, we need to see a reversal, a close under the 21 week, a close under 56%, and alt season well underway, in my opinion. Once we break 54%, that goes all the way back a year ago, 2023 October. So once we do that, not that alts can't go batshit crazy 2 or 3x between where we are now to 54%, but I think if you want those 10x's, the February early 2024 gains, like the 10x's, I think that comes back once we roll and kind of break through this zone again. Let's again look at the macro picture here. I know there's a lot of kind of zones written on this chart, but you can see our lows from 2020, 2021, right? Kind of the peak, right? When Bitcoin dominance capitulates like this, that's when you get alt seasons. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. Any kind of alt season like that again, but we've been going up only for this entire cycle in Bitcoin dominance. So just a little bit of a roll here, a reprieve back to like the mid 40s would do very well for altcoins, and I think we're in process of doing that just now. Give it another couple of weeks to a couple of months, maybe the rest of this year, to get Bitcoin dominance topped out, rolled over, and alt season underway in the next 2 to 4 months or so. Bitcoin dominance refuses to die. The macro level is around the 60 to 61%. So I think that's coming to an end here in the next couple of months. Could be a couple of weeks. I know we all want alt season, yesterday, but could be a little bit more time because Bitcoin dominance just does not show quit yet. All right. I guess we can do some requests now. Want to get that out of the way because I think that's very important. These are the 3 levels. You can mark these on your chart as well. They're not going to change. Here's the weekly 3 levels. All right. Welcome in, everybody. A lot of familiar names here. Thanks so much. Happy Friday. Figure we do, Bitcoin's turning a little bit more bullish here. Price is green across the board. So live stream is what you get. All right, we'll try to go down the list here and get to everyone's request. Probably do this until around about an hour. So 1 p.m. or so. We'll wrap it up there. Okay, first request is CKB. So let's get to it. Oh, and also just FYI, I know most of you are familiar with this, but in case anybody out there is wondering what all these colors are, these are for, the strongest charts are in blue. There's not very many of those, maybe 5. Great charts are green. Cautionary charts are orange. Bad looking charts are red, which not always bad because we want the DXY to go down. And pink charts, if you're in any pink, if you see in pink, those are the worst of the worst chart-wise. It has nothing to do with the coin, nothing to do with the project. Chart-wise, it's great, terrible, or amazing, right? That's all. Okay, so let's get to it. CKB. I think we have it on here, but we got to get to crypto. There we go. So CKB last updated was, I think, last week, earlier this week. CKB, let's look at it weekly. You can see how it kind of struggled to hold the Gaussian channel on the median. A lot of coins, if they don't have like years of history, can kind of disrespect the Gaussian channel a little bit. But let's remove that. We don't really need it. It's not really helping us at this point. What you want to look for is, obviously gigapumps like this. But then when you come back down, you're looking to hold, obviously your flip zone. You can see that held as support back here, broken through it, flip to resistance. And you want powerful candles to get you back out of it, right? I got to get out of trouble quickly, and we did. So that was back in early September. And since then, we've been consolidating above all moving averages on the weekly. That's a great sign as well. So this is definitely a green chart, one of the stronger ones. And until we're back under this zone, if we go back under that 13,000 level, the 21-week EMA, right? That's the pivot level for sure. So you want to make note of that. And if you go back under here, this would not only flip to, orange, right? It'd be much more cautious, but you could very well come back down to like something in this area, right? If you break that, or you could get stuck down here again, which wouldn't be terrible, right? You could get out of it at some point, but you might want to think about cutting your losses or taking some more profits if we go back under there. But we could very well, like if Bitcoin's going to hold the line here and Bitcoin dominance tops, like it could easily bounce here, right? Nice structure here. This is set up for some kind of a bigger move to the high side, hopefully. But you always want to look at both sides so you can, not have your blinders on. You don't want to be always leaning bullish or always leaning bearish on anything you're looking at. Let's just zoom in to the daily chart and see what we're seeing here. So another good level, right? Look at these two big moving averages. You got their 100 EMA, their 200 EMA, right below that zone, previous highs. That's the cut level. So I would make a note right there. If you go back under there, you just, take some profits or cut your losses there, and you could probably get back in at a cheaper price. You're probably going to come down, I would say, somewhere around this area at least, which might not look like a lot, but let's see, take like a measured move here. I can get off of that. So that's another 20% off, right? All right, so that's that. Let's get to the next one. Top altcoins left. Well, I think a lot of altcoins will rebound. The ones, in my opinion, right? My opinion, the strongest charts will obviously rebound. The ones that did well, the altcoins that did well, a year ago or early this year, will likely be the ones leading the way again when alt season kicks off. So make note of that if you don't know what those are. I mean, mostly the green charts on here, the blue charts for sure. And, not to name anything specific, but you remember Fetch 10x. It went from more than that, actually. Fetch went from, now it's a different project now, right? It's ASI now. So who knows what that would bring. But, Render, Injective, were absolutely blue charts to start off a year ago. Injective was actually one of the strongest charts ever. Solana, great. I don't know how much Solana's got left in it. If you're looking for something new, right, you're going to have to do your own research on that. But as far as what do I think will be good for altcoins moving forward, it's the ones that did well previously, right? When Bitcoin dominance was going up and altcoins were, 5 or 10xing, those are the ones you want to be following. They're going to still do well. Be very careful getting into coins that haven't done anything. They will likely continue to do nothing. In my opinion, based on, my 8 years being here, that tends to be how it goes, right? Just kind of duds. They fizzle out, right? You can't keep lighting the same firework. It's probably not going to work. All right. Let's see what else. Turbo. Okay, good request. I think it's actually a blue chart here. So I could probably find it color-coded wise. There it is. Let's see if it's still, we probably don't need the Bollinger Bands on. They can skew everything. Let's take that off. There we go. So exactly what you want to see. Not only that, but still a blue chart. So how do you be blue? What makes it the best, one of the best charts? You're at or near all-time highs, check mark. We're actually consolidating above previous all-time highs from May. Great pattern here. This kind of bull effect, right? These are what we've looked at for many cycles now, right? Even going back to 2020, we were talking about these kind of things. But I mean, damn, look how bullish this looks. So absolutely spectacular. And I would remain very bullish on this until we close again under the 21 week. This could absolutely hold and bounce again. I mean, look at this. This is textbook. Throwback to the EMA8, bounce, touch the EMA8, bounce, hopefully hold on the EMA8 or come back up here and then, maybe bounce again. Or like we do some more consolidation, right? We hold the 21 week and then kind of move up again and do like another one of these like mini bull patterns. We could do that as well. But still one of the top 5 charts in all of crypto. I'm like, over 10,000 cryptos here. Like, I think that's pretty strong. So Turbo's looking great. If you don't know about Turbo, you can, Google it, but it was, a meme coin created by artificial intelligence. We're the first one, to my knowledge. And, speaking of that, just look at the textbook, right? It's talking about these bull patterns, right? Look at these, like these rounded, then once they break, right? Here's a breakout throwback. Wasn't quite ready yet, but look at these time and time again. And then like, here's a bigger one, right? So we've been brewing, like this could absolutely keep ripping. Looks really good. I don't know. I think we need to zoom in anymore. Looks really good. The daily chart, we can go out to the weekly and just check it real quick. But look at that. So a bullish, Gavin, obviously, as long as you're above, that zone, you're not closing below it. Give it a couple of weeks, and I think the 21 EMA will be right up here. But if you look at this is exactly textbook, like massive move, come back, chill at the 21 week, massive move, come back, chill at the 21 week, the yellow line, right? Massive move, come back, chill at the 21 week, got a little bit of a fake out there, recovered nicely, massive move. Maybe it comes back and chills at the 21 week, and then like you don't have to be a genius here to see this pattern, right? Strength breeds strength, right? It's like your coin is like, oh, we already done the 2, 3, 400% move. It's done. No, 200% move done. No, 500% move done. No, right? That's meme coins can stay stronger than common sense, right? So, cult followings will always be difficult to estimate chart-wise, specifics. Who knows? All right, hopefully you can just at least see the strength of the chart and, who cares what it's even about, right? Strong charts, strong moves. Do I think SmartCon on the 30th and 31st of October will have a significant impact on Chainlink price? No, I don't. Anything else in the past that's, not Chainlink specific, but I just don't think any events like that are going to be massively lead to massive adoption other than what's already here. If it's news, if it's already on the internet and you can read it, right, it's already pretty much priced in. So things that move markets are things that are shockers, like unexpected events. Just from my experience, again, being here every day for 8 years, that's usually how it goes. If you know about it, the market knows about it. All right, getting to more, reading down. Hello, everybody. Tether dominance, that's a good request. All right, we're 5.25. So we're knocking on the door of phase 3 starting. So if you've ever been a part of my group here on Telegram, we've talked about this almost at least a weekly basis, not daily basis. This is where the crypto price peak was, right? March. We've been in a counter uptrend, and I don't see this as bullish at all. In fact, I see it as a prolonged, flag, right? This is just a counter trend move, right? Here's 1, 2, 3. There's a bigger move, and once phase 3 kicks off, right, we're going to see a breach of the 200 week here. This is a weekly chart. This is what's going to start phase 3. This was the end of phase 2, right? This is the start of phase 1, right here for crypto, right? We started rocketing here, new bull run, take a pause, start phase 2 right here, take a pause, long ass pause, 8-month pause, and phase 3, which will take, likely take Bitcoin to new all-time highs, 100K plus, starts. I mean, it looks like it's knocking on the door now, right? But we've been here before, so it's a little too early to tell. But if we see a weekly close under 5.25%. That's been kind of where I've said, look at the previous flip resistance, flip support. Once this breaks, that's new money coming back into the market from stable coins. This is exactly why you track this. This is stable coins, people holding from their profits, all this, right? This is why this increases. People exiting the markets back to, find some profit somewhere else or just hold stables. And then new money comes in, right? When you break here, just like back here in February 2024, you remember how well crypto was doing back, a year and a half ago? Yeah. Excuse me, 10 months ago, right? That's when, tether dominance breaks down, right? All money is coming back to coins. Profit back to stables. All money looks like it's knocking on the door, breaking out of this channel, 8-month channel. Bearish top, right? Rejection right at major resistance, right? We're rejected back in January of 2024. We did it again. And, we could bounce. Maybe we have another, right? This would just put us on pause for the rest of the year. If this bounces and goes back up, there's no excitement until at least January in my book. And then once we do break out of this, which it could be this week, right? We're going to see a flood of capital coming back to crypto. And we're literally on the cusp of that right as we speak. So we're potentially there. We're not for sure there yet. I'd like to see how this closes. I would love to close like under 5. I don't know if we're that lucky, but if we get a determined close down here, certainly under 5, like that would be ideal. Maybe it's not this week, but you can see these range highs here, range lows. We're knocking on the door. You can see that, right? The 200-week moving average is a major level. And it's been my argument that tether dominance is in its first bear market ever. Right? So you can have these bounces. But I mean, look at this. This is the first time it's ever been under the 200-week. Tether is in a bear market, and we're about to see a massive influx of new capital here. Or old capital, sideline capital, rather, I should say. And, we're gonna likely see under 4%, which, Bitcoin's got to be triple digits at that point. If we ever see tether dominance under 3.5% or 4%, I would be shocked if we're not, well over 100K Bitcoin. Let alone like altcoins probably 10x their prices now. If we see 3.5% tether dominance, I would bet altcoins are 5 or 10x market-wide higher than they're currently, if that says anything. All right, good request. Tether dominance, pretty significant here. All right, let's keep it rolling. Appreciate you. Thanks, Mr. Khan. Nate, you made it. Well, this happened. Thanks for requesting this, Nate. I was like, why not do a live stream? Nate requested a live stream a couple days ago. Said on Friday. Said, okay, we'll do it. So kudos to that guy for making this happen. We'll try to do more of these. I just, we get 20 people watching, so it's not really. I know it helps those 20 people, but no sauna. I've never even. No sauna. I've never even heard of it, but let's go look at it. I guess we have it on the chart. I guess you've requested it before. All right, so it's an orange chart because we're under, well, it's almost red chart now at this point, right? We're almost breaching the lows here. So this is a weekly chart, by the way. And it is it's above, it did have a hell of a move. What was that move? Just 85,000%. That's it. Okay, so it might get a little bit of a pass here because it did so much, but some of the magic might be gone because we can't seem to replicate what we did. So this is kind of where I would probably cut because there's nothing below us here. I guess you could argue down here, but you want to ride this down and risk that? I mean, we're looking at potentially going down here. There's no floor here, right? There's no support anywhere. Your next support is like maybe up here. So I'd be cautious here. Nice move. Hopefully you didn't buy anywhere, above $5. That would be devastating, but it could easily get back there. But this is, you make no mistake. This is the floor here. You don't want to breach through this. And we're under the 100 week as well. So it's a cautionary, but I mean, Jesus, the 85,000% move can't be disregarded. So it does get kind of a hall pass because it's probably the strongest moving coin in maybe in world history. But you could see rejection off the 21 week here. That doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. Maybe it's holding the line here, but I wouldn't get too bullish on this just yet until let's put a pin in kind of this is a pretty fine zone right here, 230. If we get back above 230, now maybe you just, take some profit. If you're in profits, maybe you take some off the table here and then buy back in up here just in case it does kind of kick the bucket. Or if you see a close under a dollar like 45, right? Because this one closed at 145, this one closed at 148, closed at 148. If it closed under 145, I would say you probably got to cut there because it could just go into one of these little free falls. Maybe you buy back in later. In my book, buy back when it's bullish. Well, 235, 240 above there. If we get a weekly close above there, we could, certainly see it rip to the upside again. You could see looking at, these little W patterns here, right? It could definitely do something like that. But here's another major level, like just above 3 there. That would be the, if we break 230, I would say it goes like right to that. 330 might get a nice little bounce, but cautionary right here. GFI, Goldfinch. I got it up here somewhere. There's too many coins now. All right, we have this orange. Last time, similar vibes to what we just looked at the 100-week range high breakout. It's just, so far, I would chalk this up to kind of a throwback of that level at retest. Got just a little too bullish too quick, maybe. But again, like this zone has to hold, which it did back in August on the, the lows of Bitcoin. And that's a good sign, right? If you're throwing back to key breakout levels, that's good, but we got to hold here, right? This is not a flag by any means necessary. But this is just lower highs and lower lows, it's starting to get weak here. So it's got to show some strength. I'd love to see something like this, right? Where we get this bull and coming back up, where we start to kind of flip over the next several weeks to months. And then we just kind of build from there. Then you'll see another massive move above that. But until we're back above the 21 week, I'd definitely be cautious here. 238. I mean, we're flirting with range lows. We've only seen a handful of times since July. A little cautious here. We could have a capitulation, come back down again. We could rip down lower before coming back up again. It could be like another mirror candle of that. Just because Bitcoin dominance is so high, if Bitcoin kind of stutter steps, a lot of coins that are like this, kind of on the verge of weakness, would likely show their face at least initially, and then maybe come back as Bitcoin dominance tops. But just watch it here because we're looking at the macro. We're at a big pivot level, the 100-week at 190. Like to see it back above 238 before we get too bullish. Let's go to the daily. And again, like your caution was like when you started to close under this 200-day. Anytime you close under the 200-day, you got to get a little bit cautious. Now all your moving averages are moving down. So that's the trend on the daily is down. Right? Wherever your 200 is moving on any chart you're looking at, that's the trend. So don't fight the trend. Right? We started really moving down like right as we crossed it here. So that was kind of probably your get out warning, right? And it just kind of look at that, how it just like retested these average of these range lows here, right? Capitulation down to the 100, bounce back up, close under it. Yeah, sign of weakness right there. And then, the strength we had a chance to hold the line here and we didn't. So another close back under the 100. That's, yeah, a little bit cautious on that chart right now. If the chat's looking broken, some messages not coming through, it might be on a timer. I have to check the settings. It might be on like a 30-second timer. You can't type messages of more than 30 seconds. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that many meme coins, turbo included, could be multi-billion dollars. Like if you think back to the heydays of Doge, that got to like 90 billion. So there could be some memes hit, 50 billion, 100 billion, perhaps, maybe this cycle. I wouldn't doubt that there's be a 40, 50 billion meme coin or a couple maybe. So don't discount that, right? Memes catch fire. All right. Can do more. We can cover Chainlink. Might as well look at Chainlink. Chainlink's a little bit cautious here still, right? We've talked about this in all our Chainlink videos, really until we get back above like 1250, the 21 week, $13. Here's our flip zone. We're under the 200 week now. We just poked our head back above, today, but leaning slightly bearish, which is why it's orange, right? As much as I love Chainlink, it's, you're just following the charts, chart rules. That's it, right? If you're going to see a big move, if we want to see these big moves again, right? You're above the 21 week, right? You break above it, throw back to it, and then they get your trampoline effect. It's not any coin specific. That's just fundamental TA. That's how it works. The 21 week in crypto works like magic. When you close under it, that's when you start to slip on the ice a bit, right? Closed under it there, got one final move, and then closed back under it 2 times. We came back to our zone. We had to hold that. And, usually major pivot levels, which this was, if you close below it with authority, that's why you can really fall down, because a lot of people have stop losses right there, and it just kind of leads to momentum. Then we flip back, bounce back up, rejection off in the same level that we lost. It's just weak right now. From a price chart perspective, if we want to gain strength, you just got to get back above $12.50, $13, and we'll get it back. We can get it back in no time. We can have another one of these moves. But you've got to flip this zone back to support first. Render. I'll just keep doing some different various altcoins until we get some more requests, or until, everybody leaves, or it's 1 p.m. Okay, so Render. I know a lot of people like this one. Move back to the 100 week. This zone is holding the 236 here. We're just kind of in limbo here. This really should probably be back to orange, right? And I'll probably downgrade this if it doesn't close back above like $6 in the next week or two. Same thing, right? The Fibonacci extension. If you're looking to like where we could potentially go this cycle, 33. I don't think we're getting to 139, but maybe if it catches fire. If you look at the macro, I think the high was like $55, $60 somewhere in there for the 1618 from the initial 2021 high to the low. But this short-term move, I would be shocked if Render doesn't get to at least 30, 33 here and hit this cycle. Same with Injective. Let's look at that. Perhaps Injective starting to show some strength here. We have like our little green zone we're flirting with, getting back. It's starting to get more bullish here. And like, remember I talked back earlier in the stream how Injective is like the strongest coin in crypto. The start of this bull run, right? Look at this. From the highs, like 4,000% move, and it did majority of that really, really early, like 800% move, and like before anything else was even awake. This is like when fetch was at like a 10 cents, right? And then it did another one. So Injective really strong, held the previous hesitation zone. We're still good here, and I would expect still big things out of it, only because it did so well early on. It was like the strongest coin chart-wise at the start of this run. And I think once alt season starts, I think we're going to see another significant move out of Injective. Obviously the breakout levels around the 40 level, but we can really start to gain some traction and pick up. I would say we're going to go from probably around 23, 24, make a pretty quick shot to around the 30 level. You can see the previous underside retest of that. I think something around the 30, from like 25 to 35 could come pretty quickly. Solana Still looking great. Still green chart. Probably on the verge of turning blue, honestly. If it can get back up to like, 180 to 200, this will probably go to blue. It's above all moving averages. Tight consolidation. This is like textbook what you want to see in coins. Like, it doesn't give up the previous breakout zone. You see our previous break high here. Broke higher and then didn't give that back. That's a sure sign of strength, no matter where you are in moving averages. But I would fully forecast Solana going to at least 500 this cycle. I'd be shocked if that doesn't happen. $1,000, we're starting to get a little sketchy there, but it could happen. Okay, any other requests? Thanks all. You can always watch these back later, fast forward. I'll leave these, open. ICP. Okay, let's go look at that. Okay, was a green chart, probably not anymore. We were close, like we tried to poke our head back above it, but here's our cautionary zone here. Just the previous range highs from the bear market. We're still not out of that yet. So we're not very much up on this whole cycle. We started our cycle like January 2023, right? Hello. So we're still only up like 2x as of right now from when we started this cycle, which is not the worst, right? It's certainly not terrible, but it's also not great, right? We want to get in a little bit stronger coins probably than this, but we're at our pivot level. We're down 60% from the highs, which is normal. We got to get back above here, right? We're still putting in lower highs. If we can somehow take out the $10, get back to double digits, right? We could definitely pick up quickly. And I would kind of anticipate that, right? Here's where we start to turn much more green, but more cautious until we're back above this 10-11 level. You can see the previous, look at all these range lows, broken, flip to resistance. That's going to be where we break out again. $11. If we flip back 11, which is not too bad of an ask, 40% from here, which a lot of these coins will get dragged out as soon as Bitcoin dominance tops. I think you'll see some altcoins really make a jump. So from after 10, right, there's no reason to think we couldn't make a significant quick move to 20. And then from there, like, we just build off of that. Our next kind of hesitation will probably be up around the 30 level, I would guess. Maybe we see some kind of minor hesitation at 23. That's kind of the same level though. Right? That would be our next level. After that, probably looking at something like this. Right? So just be mindful of those levels going forward. But this zone is red for a reason, right? All moving averages is still pointing down. The 100 weeks still pointing down. It could just get trapped in here for a while. So as long as you're willing to ride this out, or go lower, right? I would be very cautious if we go under 675. And we just drag that down to these lows here, because there's nothing else to catch us. I mean, maybe go to 460, $3. There's no levels of significant support. This is kind of it, which has been holding so far, but you don't want to see it go lower than that. That's my take on ICP there. Litecoin. Litecoin's been a red chart so far. Let's go see where it's at now. Back to 70. Starting to get up, but you're still on your 200 week. This is probably the weakest chart we've looked at so far. You're under the 200 week. You're not, we're not even barely up anything. The start of this bull run, we're up a whopping 3%. You could argue double top there, which has already seen the result of that. Come back to this major zone that we've been in. This is July. This is 2023 here. This is over a year back of this zone. We're still there. So we've got to get out of here and rather quickly. We're starting, right? We're on the verge of closing a higher high, but you're under your 200 week and you're not going to make any kind of bullish moves until you're above that, right? If you go back to where Litecoin was making its major moves, back in 2017. If you're around for that, 10,000%. That's great. It's if we look, it's kind of flatlined or just chopped around for what, 6 years? Same price it was 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Same price. So not the best chart. Hopefully you don't have a lot in this, but it's streaky, right? I mean, it can make you, 50%, 100% back on your money when it catches fire, and maybe it's getting ready to do that again. But just be cautious if you're ever up in this. Let's take profits if we get back to this zone, just anywhere above 100. Realize where you've been rejecting at for over a year. So this wouldn't be my choice of altcoins, but maybe it gets streaky again and maybe it goes back to new highs. I doubt it, right? It hasn't shown any strength this cycle, so I don't know why it would, but just my 2 cents on that. You're under your 200 week. I'd be cautionary to get in anything if it's under the 200 week. All right. Sorry for the terrible news. Arrow, I just try to show it how it is. All right, back to a better looking chart. Right, nice move up. Still holding above all moving averages. Let's look at the daily. We don't have much to go off of there. Right, looks great. September, up 180%. Great. Any move down hasn't even touched the 21 right here initially. Textbook climbing up the stairs. So I would be bullish. You got to lean bullish on this until at least it closes back under the 21 day. That's 123 right now. Zoom out a little bit to like the 3 day. I mean, look at that. Great. Textbook higher highs and lows. Great there. New high, higher low, higher high. Still printing higher highs. This is the flip level to start to worry. The dollar, right? Easy. Great. So this should continue to climb up the stairs here. This looks pretty good. Fundamentally, it's doing the reverse slinky. Climb up the stairs slow and steady. As long as it's holding above the EMA 8 even, like this could blast out again. I mean, look at that. Move up, hold the EMA 8, bounce, move back down to EMA 8, breakout zone, retest. That's called a throwback. Very bullish when it does that. And you're seeing the result of that. Fantastic. Looks good there. No complaints. That's we're not far off from painting this to the blue zone. So I would give it like another, if we could get another 30% on this, $1.75, this would be a blue chart. One of the strongest ones in crypto. Just FYI. Looks great. You see the difference? I know we don't have as much history of this in Litecoin, but the last chart versus this chart, much stronger. It shows I have 2 people watching. I feel like that's not accurate because I have more people typing in the chat. Is there only 2 people here? Bitcoin climbing up. Let's go back and look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin is 69. Nice. It looks really strong. Bitcoin looks phenomenal right now. This is the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Up is the word for Bitcoin until closing again back below the 21. Why the 21? Because it is. I don't make the rules. 70K? Can we get to 70K today? I mean, it looks like it wants to. I agree. Bitcoin looks like it wants to go. It shows I have 0 people watching now. All right. Streaming issues. If it ever looks like something's wrong, you got to tell me something because otherwise, I mean, I can't ever tell on my end. All right, let me go back up to the chat. Phantom. 4 hour. Well, let's go out to the weekly. I like to start on the weekly. The 4 hour chart looked pretty good though. Nice move off of the lows. Look at that. It's up 200% in just over 2 months. That's good. Great. Just look texture, structure, right? Double bottom there. Come off of that. New highs. Higher low here. This should go to at least 115 before hesitating. This setup right here, right, holding above the 100. I would say our next hesitation might be at 115, right around that level, just like we did back here. But this should, based on this structure here, right, we're looking great. I wouldn't be surprised if we punch through even, and then maybe we come back and chill here. Another throwback, we could do that. Start to get a little bit more hesitant back under 50 cents. If we do that, I would be a little bit more cautious. That would give away all the moving averages again. But it looks good here. Looks like a pretty good chart. And you can see this macro level here. So that is, yeah, I'd be really hesitant and really cautious and probably get out if we go back under like 53 cents, 52 cents. But as long as that holds, as long as you're above your 21 week, leaning upside based on this structure that's been forming this entire bull run, looks good. Looks set up, ready to go back to highs. I would be shocked if we don't hit all-time highs this cycle at least. Let's see a fib scale on this real quick. It's just rough. So yeah, the 1618 gets us right to all-time highs. That's great. And then if we break that, the 2618's at 15. That'd be pretty tasty. That's another 2,000%. There you go. I like it. So if the 1618 breaks, money. Looks good there. Synapse. Synapse hasn't really done a whole lot. Not what I wanted it to do. I have a little bit of Synapse, and I thought it'd be a little bit greater, but I think kind of a victim of the timing. We'll see if it still does great. We got to flip back to 70 cents here. The 100 week is still 80 cents. We're not going to do anything until we can take that out. Here's our next zone, right? We're trying to build off of that. If we move back down, like, I don't know why we wouldn't hit, lows again, right? Probably the odds. If we come back down here, we got to build off of this, get back above this 21 week, which we're at now at 57 cents, 56 cents. Get back above it, make a new high. We need to start stair stepping here, which we've started it. Here's one, set the initial high, higher low so far. Got to get above like 80 cents. We got to flip this back to support. And then we can maybe get streaky again and go, make a little bit of a shot up to these highs. So hopefully some patience still. I just got a long-term bag of this. We'll see if it does anything and get going. Right, still pretty low market cap. I think it's still got some potential here, but it's not showing it yet. All right. Still just reading. I'm just reading the chats here. I appreciate it. Everyone watching from other countries, even amazing. All right, back to requests. I saw something up here. Let's see, near. Let's do near. All right, this reminds me of Solana. Solana's chart. You see the previous breakout high, move up here, come back and hold that level. That's key to hold strength. Even though the moving averages went under that, right? Structure wise, that you got to hold structure, and we're doing that. right? And now we have a little bit of a move up, a little bit of a flag, right? Put on closing prices. This looks good. It's trying to start that stair step. If you look at Heiken Ashi candles, you can get a little bit of a, you want to put a string of usually three or four green or red candles to get your momentum in that direction. We're starting to do that now. You can see evidence of the past couple of weeks, just kind of bulls and bears kind of playing tug of war. But when you get these Heiken Ashi candles, which show you momentum, 3 or 4 in a row or more, right? That's usually the direction it's going to take for the foreseeable future. And you can see the bears have been pretty much control here all the way down. Starting to flip the green. We finally have 3 greens in a row going into the final weeks of September. So hopefully we can start to get a little bit bigger on that. Close back above, $5. You got to get there. Hopefully we establish some lows here. We don't want to see any retests of this again. Where do I think we can break out at? I guess like 575. If we put in a new high, previous lows here, range highs, 575, 625, that little 50 cent range there. All-time high should come pretty quickly, right? Nice chart. $8. I would think once we take out 6, 8 would come very quick, right? This big move here. Look at this from February 2024. Now keep in mind, Bitcoin dominance was like still rising during all this. So coins that are putting in like 3x's if Bitcoin dominance rises is probably going to do very well moving forward when Bitcoin dominance tops. Right? These little streaks got to get back above the 21, right? You see all this, everything positive starts to happen when you're back above all the moving averages here. You throw back to the EMA 8, 14 maybe, 8, 14 maybe, hold, right? Just kind of, we were done there, right? Victim of the times, right? It's nothing against this coin. But looking at this pattern, maybe we could start to see something like this over the next couple of months where we start to build off of that. Even if we kind of trend sideways or go back down, it's okay. Just hold that bull kind of pattern, imaginary bull, right? And then a breakout of 8. And I would guess we're going to see some kind of a big move like that again on top of that. So let's clear all this out. Let me look at the fib extension for you. So the 1618 at $17 might not sound too great depending on where you bought at, but how about $50? That sounds pretty good. The 2618, that sounds pretty good. Let's see what that is for now. So we got 2 or 50% to the 1618, and we got a nice little 10xer from to the 2618. That could be easily viable, right? All right, keep it going. Someone said Litecoin. I wouldn't voluntarily cover Litecoin. TIA and Jasmine. Not a great looking one there, right? Get back above the 21 week, 650. We're right there. But anytime you can kind of invert the charts and they look similar, that's not usually a great sign, right? I don't have a whole lot of history here, so if that's all the history we have, maybe it's on a different zone, but hard to do a whole lot of TA on this when you don't have a whole lot of chart. If I take something out of it, I would say, here's your kind of flip zone, 850. Not a whole lot I can do with that one. Maybe we got a better, if you ever got a chart that you want covered and more history, just let me know the exchange and I can, pick that. We'll move on. Jasmine. All right, so Jasmine here, looking all right, but I got a little bit of a worry here just right off the bat because I see, this, you see this top here. You don't want to see this rejected again here, right? The neckline is that's just under, if we go under here, you got to get out, in my opinion, right? You can do what you want, but in my opinion, if this plays out, we're going down here. right? Here's our zone, our previous breakout zone. So this would be a head and shoulders playing out on a weekly scale. Doesn't have to happen, right? Obviously. And it's not a head and shoulders until it does, close under 1780, right? If it puts in a lower close, though, that would be pretty devastating, because the measured move on that would take you probably right to that. I would say the measured move on this, just with eyeballing it, right? You're looking from the top close to the low close down. It goes right there. So be careful on that, right? We turn green again. If we could just close above, make a new high, and that kind of goes away. So the high close at 2367. Just close anywhere above that green, 2500, and you're good. 2.5 cents. Everything starts to turn back much more better. Proper grammar. But this is, make no mistake, that is a crucial zone right there. We do not want to close a weekly candle under there, under that 100 week. Just paint it at that, 1786. All right. Appreciate everyone being here. Maybe we'll start doing these more on Fridays. Just do like live stream Fridays or something around the same time. Seems pretty chill. Let's see what else. Pendle, good request by a long-time subscriber. Appreciate you. All right, Pendle, great looking chart. Again, this one looks like on the verge of me turning blue. It's above all moving averages, getting ready to flirt with, I would guess, all-time highs in the not-so-distant future. Looks pretty great. Let's do 1618 up there. And these are rough, so don't take these to the penny. But it's at the 618 right now here. So if it breaks through here, I think we got, pretty nice solid run to 7. Right, that gets you another 60% higher to all-time highs, $17 to 1618. I don't know if we can get up to 70, but that would probably be pretty great. I would guess you would like that. There's 15x away from there. Good looking chart. I had the rhymes of the chart we just looked at, but it looks like it's kind of shaking that off. Or we kind of had this double top feeling. Came down. That's probably why it came down so hard, all the way back down here. But it's building its way back up, so we don't want to see that fail. But I do like that it's kind of already broken through that level. Kind of flirting with these highs. It's on like the boiler, right? It's like, I feel like it's on the verge of maybe making a bigger move here. Or getting rejected, right? So or rolling over. So you'd want to be cautious if we start to close back under that 380, 389. If we close back under there, it's probably going to have to test down to at least a 50 week, I would guess. But that wouldn't be bad, because you'd have like a low, maybe a higher low, and maybe a higher low out here. If it rolls here, this is a pretty big level for it, right around this 440 level. But if it punches through, I think, and then it holds, I think it could really see it like kind of an explosive move. It kind of looks like it's kind of ready for that. So that looks pretty great. Let's zoom in a little bit on the daily. Yeah, this looks really good. If we can take out 468, I wouldn't sleep on this. I think this will probably blow up. This is set up for a nice move. Look at the range highs. Turn to range lows. Great sign of strength. At the same time, right, 200, 100. Holding the EMAs above all of them. Looks good. This looks like it's kind of coiled up here and ready to maybe blow. I wouldn't doubt that we're like, even in the next couple of days, if we can put some power move in here. This is going to be a huge level, right? If it breaks through here, it's probably go time here. All right, so resistance until proven otherwise. But if you get it like a daily, weekly close above like 470, I think game on again. Looks pretty good. QI. Sorry about that. Sometimes I miss comments. The chat's a little glitchy. So if I miss your request, you can just ask again. If you ask twice and I still miss it, I probably don't want to do it. Not likely. It's pretty rare. Okay, QI. Nope, that's not it. I was like, that looks like the same damn chart. Okay. Well, it looks like the last time we talked about this, it was probably, hopefully it was bottoming here and did not happen. So we have to now draw the fib. If you ever draw a Fibonacci and it goes below that, you have to redraw the Fibonacci, right? That's not the swing low anymore. So let's go out to the weekly. All right, so there we go. Fibonacci, the 1618 gets us all out of bear market highs. Still cautionary here, right? We're under the 100-week. We've kind of only closed a couple of candles above the 100-week this entire bull run. Not the best sign. 2618 gets us to all-time highs. That's over a 25x away. Benefit of the doubt, but the sign of strength has not been there. Here's your low. Here's a higher low. If and when we move up again, right, this has got to shape up. We've got to break the 618. We've got to break these highs, and then maybe we can make a jump up here. But it's just looking at the charts, it's below all moving averages here. That's caution. Again, back to this zone here. Previous highs, new swing lows, that's okay. But it hasn't done very much this cycle. Again, it's up 80%. Even at this high, it only did 5x from the bull run. Not too bad, but it's given it all back. So there's definitely better charts, as you've seen if you've been watching the live stream. And anytime all your moving averages moving down, that's the trend. So you want to be careful. Certainly major moving averages are. So this could be one of the ones that just kind of fizzles, but we'll give it, this is the zone, right? If you come back under here, I'd say this one's probably done for the cycle. If you can hold and start to build, right, you got to get above 1600 there. Start to build off of that, climb up the stairs again, right? You'd want to looking for something like this. It's just baby steps at first, and then we can start to gain bigger, much bigger. If you could start to show signs of strength, like that'll get more people into it. Right, something like that is what you're looking for. But right now, there's better ones out there. Right, that looks like a very cautionary chart. Fetch. I've not done fetch yet. I was getting ready to do that, and we got some requests, so let's go look at it. Still one of the better altcoin charts this entire bull run. Look at the start, how it just started out. As soon as we hit bull run, fetch, hit, go. So there's the start of the run, and it made, within the first month of the bull run, it did over a 6x. So that's pretty solid. Big chill off, right? And then, this is where it started to gain traction here. First, we started talking to my group about fetch when it was down at 20 cents, right? Made a nice, nice solid 10x plus after that. Not very long after that. Definitely cooled off, but like previous, what we've been talking about this whole stream is you want to look for coins that did not give back away this previous break high zone before it went to, a lot of coins put in their highs here during March, right? And you don't want to give that away where you first broke out. So good, even though it's, down significant, 75% I would call pretty significant. It's recovered, made a new high, great. And now it's trying to hold the 21-week where, oddly enough, that's where you can start to make major moves if you hold the 21-week, right? Great. If you can't hold the 21-week, you're still trying to work on it. So fetch is on the edge of gaining more traction. If we can close above 165, 170 again, I don't see how we're not above $3 pretty quickly. This really could be arguably back to a blue chart very soon because we're above previous highs. We'd be flirting with range highs, all-time highs pretty quickly, I think, as strong as fetch was, right? It just makes these big power moves, chills out a little bit, and goes, I think it'll be another one where it shows its strength again, looking good chart-wise, fantastic. Just give it a little bit more time here. I think we need to see Bitcoin dominance kind of chill in a bigger way for weeks and not just for a day or two. And I just don't think it's done yet. So just have a little bit more patience with some altcoins. And I think ones that were strong early 2023, early 2024, we'll get back to that. Fetch included. Yeah, so it looks good. All right, going to wrap it up here. I did render a little bit earlier. Gonna have to go now. I'm just past 1. We'll do these on a more of a weekly basis. Certainly now that we're turning more bullish, Bitcoin flirting to 69K. You want to look for Bitcoin to close this week above 68.5. That's a pivotal level on the monthly chart, the weekly chart, the daily chart, 68.5. If it does that, very strong sign that the bigger bulls are showing up, and you don't want to fade that. 68.5. I'll see you on the next one. If you want more daily updates, consider joining our Patreon group. I'm in there every day. You get access to requests every day. Right? You could do this every day if you wanted. Or we have a free group as well on Telegram. So all that should be below here. Otherwise, you could find me on X, 5Day Crypto 1. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me this long. If you have, au revoir.